I am Blackhand. I play the pipes, keep my counsel, and, when necessary, supervise the collapse of other people's self-control. At my side is my daughter, Darky, graceful, composed, and altogether more pleasant company than most creatures one encounters after dusk. We had set out for a quiet evening among the ruins, and for a brief, rather delicate stretch, everything was tolerably civil. The air was cool, the stones were still, and I had just begun to suspect the universe was preparing something vulgar. And so Exangela the Black arrived, vast, theatrical, and carrying himself with the ghastly assurance of a child who believes shouting in a fine restaurant is the same thing as charm. Wings everywhere, teeth on display, and the unmistakable conviction that he was the evening's principal event. Naturally, I attempted courtesy. I raised a hand, kept my tone measured, and offered the simplest possible guidance: be calm, be decent, and do refrain from pestering my daughter. Then the fellow made the evening's crucial social error. He turned that smug little performance toward Darky and began mocking her, with all the wit of a badly raised heir throwing peas at the neighboring table. I noticed the change in her expression at once. It was subtle, yes, but then so is the first tremor before the chandelier falls. At that point, Darky ceased being patient. Her sweetness withdrew from the room entirely, the air thickened, and the shadows gathered around her like staff answering a bell. Her eyes sealed over in scarred ruin, never a promising sign, and she smiled in that dreadful way which suggests someone is about to be corrected with enormous enthusiasm. What followed was not, strictly speaking, a conversation. It was more the sort of regrettable scene one imagines after 3 unruly children have overturned the dessert trolley and discovered, too late, that the headmistress has arrived. Exangela, who had entered like royalty, began flailing about in naked panic. I must say, terror did very little for his dignity. By the close of the matter, Darky had returned to her lovely self, and Exangela had been reduced to a size far more appropriate to his emotional maturity. She took him off by the ear like a misbehaving child removed from a formal dinner, which, I think, is lesson enough for anyone tempted to insult my daughter.